Trying to lose weight? It's time to try Hers. At forhers.com/4u, you can access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored just for you. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster. You know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Welcome to Rankin Bass, an offhand joke that became a podcast. I'm your host, Mike White. Joining me is a cryptid who wants to take over the world, Chris Stachiw.
My God, you finally found me out. A cryptid. My lifelong goal has been achieved.
Also along for the ride is a shadow of the deep, Mr. Richard Hatem.
That turtle sounds like a whale.
I know, but it's such a cool sound, that really high-pitched sound. Mm-hmm. I'm ambivalent about my feelings about that turtle. Part of me loves that turtle, but part of me has to respect its strength and danger.
On this podcast, we discuss the works of Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass, specifically some of their stop-motion and animated work, or in this case, a live-action film from Rankin and Bass, 1978's The Bermuda Depths. We're talking about the Bermuda Triangle. We're talking about giant tortoises. We're talking about mermaid-ish type things. We're talking about 1970s, man. Oof.
As someone who runs a podcast where we talk about things like this, including just talking about the Bermuda Triangle, boy, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 70s interpretation of weird high strangeness at its chef's kiss finest. It is the most generic interpretation of the Bermuda Triangle one can imagine, but boy, it works.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty, it leans way toward the romantic and way away from the, it's UFOs or something. I mean,
that's like a late 80s, early 90s thing.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle was like, if you bought a book, if you were a kid and you bought a book about UFOs and ghosts, there was usually a chapter about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that Leonard Nimoy talked about it quite a few times.
Yeah, Father Malone used the Bermuda Triangle episode of In Search Of for reference when we talked about it on my show. So yeah,
Nice.
actually, right, yeah. It's what's weird, before we talk about the movie, like you mentioned, Mike, there is this in the 70s, and you're kind of seeing it now a little bit, but definitely in the 70s, a romanticization of cryptids, UFOs, again, high strangeness, the paranormal. And in the 70s, like, it is really romanticized. And, like, even something like Amityville Horror, it's pretty, like, it's a pretty romanticized movie. Like, is it a horrifying movie? Sure, but, like, still at the center, it's a family relationship, which is pretty romantic if you think about it. But this takes the cake. Holy cow.
And it also delves into the whole idea of when nature attacks movies. You had,
Yes.
I know before Jaws, there were some, you had your ants, your grasshoppers, several ants, your bees. You had so many different animals that were attacking. Yeah, Night of the Lepus. You had the mutated bears. So many things that were coming after us. I kept being reminded of Tentacoli, the Italian tentacles film with just an amazing cast to it. If it had fins or flew or walked on land, you could either get a mass of them or a giant one, and they were going to attack you and fuck up your shit.
Now, Mike, you know a lot about movies. I feel like Hitchcock did one about birds. What was it called?
It was called, what was it? Shock and Awe Birdemic, I think it was called.
Birdnado?
Yeah. On a related note, the U.S. government would like to clarify that, yes, ladies and gentlemen, birds are real. So, yes, birds are real. Giant turtles, on the other hand, no, turtles that turn into women or use women as lures. What was going on here?
It's like a
this is very weird.
Gamera relationship, It was really weird. That was the other thing. No, I think she's just related somehow.
Oh, it's like an April O'Neil thing.
She prayed to the dark god of the sea, which I guess we are to understand is a turtle. And then it saved her, but in doing so, she is now, it's like you said, lure. Like it's like you go up there and you enchant the men, and then I'll wreck their boat, and that will feed my Poseidon-like hunger or something.
I think that might have found a plot hole in the movie, because I think she's like an adult when she prays to the dark god and gets saved from that shipwreck, but then she's a little girl later on when she meets Magnus Dens.
Magnus, mother of God.
But this is all part of, by the way, the Magnus is a type of condom that I enjoy.
Ribbed for Richard's pleasure.
That turtle shell pattern on it.
I think she's allowed to. A couple things. One, either she's allowed to present any way she wants, which I guess is presumed, or B, it's a very long seduction to bring the prey to the turtle, even though he didn't turn out to be the ultimate prey. Spoiler alert.
And she's named for a kind of a carcass of a skate that when you see it, it looks like a person, but when I was reading about that, it doesn't say that they're like sirens, which is kind of what I thought was going on here.
Yeah.
But they're like demons or dragons is what people thought. So maybe that's where they're coming at it from.
Yeah, the Jenny Hanover actually, first of all, in real life, it is just the dried, slightly reformed skeleton of a skate or a ray or something. So it's like a artifact from the sea.
It has a face. It has a face on it. It looks like a person's face.
But I think some of that just comes. It's just like a sort of the by chance, that's what it looks like. And I think maybe as it's drying, you can sort of emphasize it a little to add your own art to it. But the Jenny Hanover is also sort of like, it's like Davy Jones' locker, or it's sort of a phrase used to describe, I think, a slightly more sinister siren or mermaid, woman of the sea, I think. because I've heard of it before. I've heard people. There was a movie. I know it because there was a spec script going around Hollywood in the mid '90s, back when I was writing scripts, back when I was writing, Mothman Prophecies, called Jenny Hanover. It was sent to me. In fact, it was like, oh, this is something that Columbia owns, and do you want to, maybe do a rewrite? It sort of fell out of production, but maybe you can get it back in. And I'm like, what the fuck is Jenny Hanover? Who's this chick? And then it was like, oh no, it's about some weird sea monster or something that this guy knows. And I'd never heard of it before. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's a phrase for some ocean specter.
Coincidentally, that film became Deep Rising. I have no idea, but it could very well could have been from the sound of it. It's strange. I was having a hard time figuring out what the woman's job was, because the turtle is benevolent.
I know. The turtle attacked. The turtle attacked. I mean, the turtle killed our stars.
I think the turtle killed Magnus's dad.
Well, the turtle definitely killed Burl Ives.
The turtle was getting too close Magnus's dad was getting too close to the truth, and he had to be taken out. It was very, very Watergate-esque.
The Watergate hearings with a giant turtle.
That's right. I refuse to testify on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this turtle wants to take its secrets to the deep. But yeah, I mean, and Burl Ives, keep in mind, Burl Ives was in a goddamn helicopter when this turtle
Oh boy.
The best part of this entire movie is Burl Ives in the helicopter when the turtle hits it, and his face is just priceless. Absolutely.
The noise he makes is fantastic.
All I can think of is the snowman from Rudolph. I mean, that's how far we've come. Dasher and Dancer, my God, a giant turtle.
And it was right around that time. I mean, it was within that. We've seen much more recent Rankin and Bass things than this. This was.
Now, this is 78.
Yeah. Like, I don't know
This is pretty. This is late, right?
Yeah, pretty late for them. I'm trying to remember the Santa one that we talked about.
That was like 84?
84, yeah. That was like.
When was their Lord of the Rings?
70. It was right around this time. I want to say was The Hobbit and Return of the King were like 74 and 76, something like that, or it might have been 78.
Look, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I did not hate this.
No,
I did not hate this. I enjoyed watching this. There was often I'm tempted to fast forward. That temptation didn't really happen a lot in this movie. I was like, all right, I guess I'm in. I mean, look, and I can name my reasons.
Yeah, right. Can you?
I'll look at Connie Selica all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I say the reasons, Richard. It's obvious.
Well, no, I mean, look, I'll give three reasons. Connie
Burl
Selica,
Ives, he's just so sexy.
Oh,
Carl
fuck yeah.
Weathers.
Carl Weathers and that weird flat hairdo that he had going on here.
And
I kept waiting for him to get his hand bitten off by an alligator.
What about the get-ups in this movie? Because Carl Weathers, what is he rocking?
That weird half shirt that he's got going on
with the tight little like booty shorts and a bucket hat. Man, this is not the Bermuda I have heard of. It's the Bermuda of our dreams.
It is. It's in his contract, I think, that he can't wear a lot of clothes. Yeah, and it's like, if you make me wear long pants, then my shirt goes away.
Mm-hmm. It's like, Carl Weathers is a good-looking man, guys.
But such a welcome presence. I mean, the minute he's on screen, I'm like, you know what? I'm in good shape. I'll just watch this guy. I mean, I'm not saying he's a great actor, although he might be. I'm saying I'm going to hang around with Carl Weathers. He does the greatest, come here, you old son of a bitch, how long's it been, than any other actor who's ever lived.
He's in The Mandalorian, and he's one of, if not the best part of that first season of the show, is just watching Carl Weathers do his thing. And, he's had a career resurgence thanks to Star Wars, of all things. As an African-American actor having a career resurgence because of Star Wars, a franchise not necessarily known for their treatment of African-American characters. I mean, Carl Weathers' career has... Well, that's there's like three it's like unfortunate. And I guess John Boyega, but I don't think that really counts anymore. I don't even think he wants to be associated with it. But I love Carl Weathers. His career has been a long and interesting career, and this is definitely something.
This is one of the longer and more interesting parts of it.
Yeah.
Lee McCloskey as our main character, I mostly know him for being the scumbag college boyfriend from Just One of the Guys, but he's had a pretty long career. Apparently he was in I haven't seen Argento's Inferno in a long time, and I'm not familiar with Babylon 5, but he was okay. He was kind of the he was a little Brody and a little Hooper, but I think Carl Weathers was more Brody and more Quint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the character on paper and then in performance is a little zonked out. Mm-hmm. Magnus, he's just a little. He's always in a fugue state. He's been in a fugue state. He's been poked and prodded by psychiatrists. You know, you gotta cut him some slack. And it's like, oh, okay, so that's who this guy is, and doubts his sanity, and he's seeing this woman, and he's in love with her, and his memories are slowly being unearthed. So that's not the most fun role to play. And again, most of his performance was, his staring at Connie Selica and us waiting for them to kiss. So
yeah, which is what you do. I mean, especially if you're John Tesh.
Yeah, which he basically is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Connie Selica had even less to do. I mean, literally, she's just like, show up, be incredibly beautiful and mysterious / maybe dangerous.
Touch Lee McCloskey on his face over and over again.
Yeah. Give him that puka shell necklace.
Yeah, the puka shell necklace.
You kind of like in what I guess her story was, never in my entire existence as a human or as a, slave to a supernatural beast have I ever wanted to be human more, but I can't. There's some Little Mermaid emotion in there. It's like, I would give anything. I want to be with you, but I fear for you because I'm bad luck. My turtle boyfriend's gonna beat you up.
It's strange because the human characters I understand completely. I just have a hard time understanding where the giant turtle comes in. Mm-hmm. Because it's not explained. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the film explains it, which is fine. It doesn't have to explain it, but the film does a pretty good job and goes out of its way to explain damn near everything else. To the point where this movie is like an hour and a half long, and it feels like 2 hours at some points. It does drag from time to time.
Well, that's the interesting part of it, is that they're searching for a giant turtle. In a way, they're searching for gigantic undersea animals. That's sort of the substrata of ichthyology that Burl Ives is devoting his life to, as is Carl Weathers. So it's like, okay, so we've got that, and then it's like, oh, and this is a legit endeavor. They're not considered crazy. They're not pariahs dismissed by legit science. It's like, we're doing this, and then they have some evidence on the beach. They're measuring the tracks. Like, I think we're getting close. So you're sort of like, on the one hand, following this like legit, we're hunting Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, in this case, some turtle on steroids. Okay, we got it. They even name it. They call it something. I forget what they call it, but that's what they're hunting. Okay. Then you've got this other story of legend that has something to do with this woman, which is Connie Selica, Jenny Hanover, who made a pact with the god of the sea, or some dark god. Didn't even know who she was praying to, but it was a selfish prayer. It was only to save herself. And the selfish god of the deep heard her, and he was apparently a giant turtle. So he's sort of supernatural. So he's sort of something you can hunt, but basically he's a supernatural character.
It's very strange because it's very like kaiju movie, but kaiju movies don't always like, that's right, Mike? Like, this is like kaiju with Western elements put on it.
Well, and it's weird too, because we actually see the egg that becomes the kaiju, but yet the kaiju already existed. So it's like, how did this happen? It's very strange. And the whole thing, how he marks the beast with the J plus M or M plus J on there. And I'm like, okay, so what was out there before? Was anything out there before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the god is different than the turtle.
Right.
Maybe Jenny and the turtle get reborn over and over and over.
The issue is, how are the turtle and Jenny Hanover connected? That's kind of the issue that I'm having, because her eyes glow like the turtle.
She got like at the beginning of the movie, it seemed like the turtle kind of dragged her out to sea, and then it's like, oh, she must have drowned in the sea and she's a ghost. But then it's like, oh no, she's from 200 years ago. Right.
Yeah, she starts talking about those quadrilles that her father would hold in the Great Hall, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were a little girl, like just a few, scenes ago.
No.
And as I kept thinking, when it came to that stuff, I kept being reminded of Ron Howard's Splash. And because I think that starts with Tom Hanks as a little kid, and he sees the young Daryl Hannah, and then eventually they reunite, later on. It's been a long damn time since I've seen that movie, but I kept being reminded of Splash. And then also I kept being reminded of John Woo's The Killer because of all the times where he shouts Jenny. And there's even one part where Magnus shouts Jenny and she's like 20 feet away from him. And he's like, Jenny. And I'm like, she's right there, dude. You don't have to keep shouting her name all the time.
There were a handful of moments of people shouting that felt a little jarring. I think the top one was when Burl Ives says to Eric's wife about Magnus's father, "Of course he was eaten."
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, guy, man, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and speaking of all the times they say Jenny, lest we not forget, this film, like many Rankin and Bass films, does have a song made specifically for the film.
Yes.
Oh, and it's written by Jules Bass himself, because of course,
Maury Laws, right?
Maury Laws. I thought,
it's him and Maury Laws, but he wrote the lyrics.
Yeah,
which is which is really what you're here for. Someone just saying Jenny a million times.
He likes to think about kissing her. He will spend a lifetime missing her.
Yep.
You know how it goes.
Well, and it's that same thing that we talked about when it came to the animated stuff, because this is, again, it's being directed by a Japanese man who, and his production company was mostly known for the Ultraman franchise. So it's like you get that weird, we're talking about kaiju. I mean, this is directed by a guy who knows kaiju very well. Thank you.
And it was released in Japan and dubbed into Japanese, again, because it's effectively a kaiju movie. Like it is. I think my issue with the movie is just not very fun. It's kind of a bummer of a movie, and it's like it never has a sense of fun. And I'm not saying a kaiju movie is required to be fun. The original Godzilla is not necessarily a fun movie at all. Especially the one with Raymond Burr in it. That is the least fun version of that movie. But yeah, this movie is pretty goddamn serious, and the ending is it's dark and like grim and strange.
It really is. It was like, wow, okay. I mean, like I kind of thought it might pull out of its sort of dire emotional nosedive, but it took it down like a giant turtle.
There's a scene at the end of the film when Carl Weathers has a rope wrapped around his leg and he's pulled to his death by the giant turtle, either on purpose or by accident.
Yeah, and he's like screaming to be saved.
Help me! Cut me! Give me the knife! Like this. What? This is a what? What? I couldn't figure out the tone of this movie, and at the end, I was really confused.
Well, what was he going to do with the knife? Was he going to kill himself?
I wonder if he's going to cut his leg off.
I thought he was going to kill himself. I thought he was going to be like, "Fuck it," or stab himself in the chest.
Thank God Magnus didn't give him that knife.
Yeah, instead he's just pulled to his death and is being dragged along behind a turtle for the rest of his life. Or the rest of time, I should say.
Well,
true, but then the turtle does emit that high-pitched warble.
I'm so happy I have Carl Weathers behind me. Yay! So Carl Weathers shoots the turtle with this like rocket launcher.
That fucking harpoon gun crazy thing. Yeah.
But he's got Captain Ahab syndrome.
Right.
He
Leigh
does,
McCluskey in the scene where Carl Weathers gets the rocket launcher and he shoots it. Leigh McCluskey is standing next to him, and he looks like he's standing too close because when the thing goes off, they cut away really quick because he's like, he like freaks out because it's so close to him, so they have to cut the scene almost immediately. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's
My
so good.
God. Yeah, I didn't think about that Captain Ahab thing. I didn't even think about that.
That's a really good point, because didn't the turtle, because the turtle killed Magnus's father, but doesn't he have some sort of familiar relationship with the turtle as well? Am I remembering that right? Didn't it piss him off somehow? Okay.
No, he just wants, he's like, we need, dead or alive, we need to bring this thing out.
Okay.
Which is
dead or alive, you're coming with me, turtle.
Yeah.
Right. And
taxidermy man, he ain't going to believe what I'm coming with.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck would be the point of bringing it back for? I just don't. Okay, sure, Carl Weathers.
Burl Ives is like, no, that you can't. We've got to be. There's a kind of science that doesn't kill, and that's what I subscribe to. But man, it didn't save his ass when the chips were down.
Oh my God!
The turtle did not, make a distinction. He's just like, I'm here. I'm ready to kill some people, and there's a helicopter.
Your altruism be damned.
Yeah, it's like, God, you could have cut Burl Ives some slack. He was the one trying to protect you, you bastard turtle.
Just for the record, The Hobbit was 1977 and Return of the King was 1980. So this was the same year as The Stingiest Man in Town and the year before Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
The Stingiest Man in Town, Richard, yet another Christmas special we haven't done, further confirming one more year is coming your way.
What were we thinking not doing that in the last 2 months? We could have scraped that one off
because if we did that, then we wouldn't be talking about the giant turtle with the woman that it uses as a lure.
That's right.
Well, this was a very summery. This was like a little summertime kind of.
Oh yeah.
In the depths of winter, let's go to Bermuda and the warm blue ocean and watch beautiful people in cut-off clothing strut around a beach.
Well, it was so nice that I think Jules Bass ended up living in Bermuda for the rest of his life after this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, this came out in January of 1978, so, like you said, Richard, it's in the height of the wintertime, and here's a movie for people to watch to, enjoy it's well shot. It's got some nice vistas. It is shot, like you just said, Mike, it is shot in Bermuda, which is nice. They're not trying to pass something off as not Bermuda, though there are some blue or green screen shots.
Oh my God. And those models, the model work is crazy.
The model boat and the model helicopter.
Oh my God, that's so wild.
They look like miniatures because they are miniatures. My God.
And they just, the skies don't match, the water doesn't match. Nope. It's just like, what is going on here?
They keep cutting to Carl, when they're chasing after the turtle, they keep cutting like Carl Weathers inside of the boat looking out. You can see him looking out through the front windshield. And then they cut to the boat and it's the little model. And you're just like, stop doing it. Just stop. You can't convince us these are the same fucking thing. Please stop.
Yeah. They didn't really have Steven Spielberg's budget.
No. To the point where we actually never see the people and the creature interact with one another. They never actually interact with one another. Anytime they're interacting, it's the miniatures. And the blue, the green screen of Burl Ives going, there's the turtle, reacting to the green screen behind him, like, there it is. Okay.
So my question is, why did they do this? Like what, I'm always looking at why did this movie get made? And is it because was it they wanted to get into live action and they thought this is a way we'll do it, but at a certain point we'll also use our animagic techniques to sort of tell a certain part of the story? Or was it because it was just they wanted to do something live action and the studio's like, well, there's only a handful of subjects that are going to get a green light right now, no matter what. Disco, Bermuda Triangle, and hookers. Choose one. And they were like, well, okay, I guess that leaves us with Bermuda Triangle. Let's do that. You know, it's like, how did this, who was so excited about this? Because they didn't write it. Some guy named William Overboard or Overgard.
Yeah.
Like
the same guy who wrote the Bushido Blade and The Last Dinosaur, and they had produced The Last Dinosaur in '77, so they were on a roll with this dude.
Yeah, Super Studios and Rankin and Bass worked on 3 things together: this, The Last Dinosaur, and The Ivory Ape. 3 things that all are very in the same milieu vein, whatever the fuck you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, The Ivory Ape is a Richard. It's a movie about a giant gorilla that stars Jack Palance.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like, what does it sound like? Yeah. What does that sound like? Sounds like this.
Well, and then they don't forget that Rankin and Bass were down with King Kong Escapes way back in '67 as well. So they've got a history with this. Let's do some stuff, and they produced the King Kong cartoon show, and I want to say they had something to do with that Godzilla cartoon show as well, but I could be wrong about that.
To Richard's point, though, what you asked though, Richard, is not why. Who were they making this? I couldn't tell you why. I would say it's because they were working with a Japanese production company on the Animagic stuff, and I think they were just like, you guys are kind of doing stop motion shit. Okay. Well, what if we just get like an American crew of actors and then, like you said, Richard, just throw some models and the stuff we normally do in? Because they still had to do a fair amount of effects. So I think that's got to be it, just because they were working with Japanese production companies on, Rudolph and Frosty and all that.
So maybe they just kicked in on this one. It wasn't like, Arthur Rankin has always been fascinated by the Bermuda Triangle. It's like what you guys say. It's more like, this is more of a Japanese movie that just happened to get made with some Americans, but it was basically intended for a Japanese release with an American release. But it was following the storytelling rhythms of the East rather than West.
And it didn't get released in theaters. I mean, this is a Friday night movie on ABC, but in Japan, it did get released in theaters. So I think that gives kind of a clear direction of where and how this movie was made. And
Carl Weathers was a big star at that point because of the Rocky movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we can, people will even, the Japanese will know him from Rocky.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of nice they're throwing a bone to Burl Ives, who they've been working with since the 60s.
Yeah.
And Burl Ives not known for his live action work with Rankin and Bass, obviously.
Right.
So
it kind of reminded me, wasn't Burl Ives also in White Dog, where it was kind of a similar type of role?
God.
Do you remember that one, Richard? With
well, yeah, but wasn't he more sinister in that? Wasn't he the racist guy who taught his dogs to attack black people?
I don't think so. I think by the time they get the dog has been trained. I don't think we actually get to see who the owner of the dog was. And in that one, there was another, because obviously you need to have a black person that the dog is going to react against. And I can't remember who that was that happens. Oh, it was Paul Winfield that ends up. Okay.
The guy gets the thing in his ear in Wrath of Khan.
Right.
That's the grossest scene in Wrath of Khan.
Oh, and he also gets attacked by cockroaches in Damnation Alley. The guy has not a lot of luck with bugs.
Right.
Wow. That was good. You guys are good.
Yeah, I had never heard of White Dog before until now, and it sounds like an insane movie.
I would highly recommend it. You may think that it's one thing, but it's definitely something else. And I mean, it's Romain Gary wrote the screenplay along with Curtis Hanson, I think, and then Sam Fuller was fucking amazing. It got banned because people thought it was racist, but when you sit down and watch it, it's like, no, this is pretty anti-racist.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. But the other thing is that Burl Ives, just as a physical human specimen, looks like he would be the most racist guy in the world.
Oh, that's true.
Well, with a name like Burl Ickle Ivanhoe Ives, I mean,
yeah, he would just he would just have an entire career playing the evil plantation master in traveling stage shows, in the
Mandingo.
The Chitlin circuit, when that's what those shows were,
Well, yeah, his what was he, Big Daddy from Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? I could see him just going on a real screed about QAnon or something.
Well, okay, so I mean, it brings up. I mean, you guys, you know Susan now, and her dad, Vic Lambert, was an actor in Atlanta, and he's the guy. I think I've talked about him, but he's sort of like Charles Durning meets Ed Asner, sort of that genre of kind of actor, and he was always getting those roles. She has these memories of, like, as a child going to see him in a play, and he's the incredibly racist army general, or the incredibly racist mayor, or the incredibly racist cop, or police detective, or sheriff,
right.
because he was just always, that's kind of, it's like, oh yeah, Vic will be good at that. Couldn't be, I mean, the most liberal guy in the world, but I mean, those were his roles. And she's like, yeah, so just one day we went and saw our dad in a play, and just suddenly he's just dropping N-bomb after N-bomb. We were like, what is happening?
Wow.
I think it's the facial hair for Burl Ives, right?
It could be, yeah.
It's the little goatee under your lip.
Yeah.
I don't know what
that
it
is. An intolerant bunch of facial hair.
I think it's like I think it's evocative of Colonel Sanders. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
And then he's still a redhead, even though it looks like his hair should be white at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange to see Burl Ives in this because, again, as someone who has seen him in very few live action things, frankly, this is probably the first live action thing. Just weird to hear that voice that I know so well coming out of, this redheaded Santa, redheaded Santa looking guy, as opposed to a anthropomorphic snowman. So
right.
I think overall, though, I enjoyed it. It's better than the King Kong movie. It's more intelligible than the King Kong movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one wasn't trying too hard to be. It wasn't doing the thing where these movies always fail at, which is to try to legitimately scare us, legitimately make us care. It's like we're not gonna go in that direction. We're just gonna go into the, this is basically an hour and a half sea shanty about, this is ELO's I Can't Get It Out of My Head, which I didn't realize was about basically a Jenny Hanover until I looked at the lyrics.
I never knew that. I will have to now listen to that with fresh ears.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Midnight on the water. I saw the ocean's daughter. Walking on the waves she came.
On a giant turtle today.
I think you set that against some whale song, and it's just going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
But before we finish, though, can we talk about how fucking dour the ending is?
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? It's like we joked about Burl Ives dying, but that's only one part of how just bleak the movie gets.
Right.
Well, okay, let's body count. Burl Ives dead. Carl Weathers dead.
Helicopter
Jenny
pilot
Hanover.
Dead.
Oh yeah, and then the pilot guy dead. Jenny Hanover, good as dead. Because she's sort of back into her watery grave. Magnus, just as baffled and traumatized as he's ever been, even more so now, he goes to the grave of his parents, and who's there? Carl Weathers' wife, to just heap on the misery a little more.
Yeah.
Just like you motherfucker, this is half your fault. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but if you hadn't come back, he never would have done this. So thanks a lot, Magnus dude. And then he leaves on a boat and throws his shell necklace into the water,
where the turtle swims past it.
Right. Well, and then you've got Carl Weathers' girlfriend, and she just, I can see why she really wasn't in that many movies. She's got like two modes. One is quiet and the other one is just screaming. And she's not going to be very happy at all.
Yeah, she was not the greatest actress in the world.
That is because she was a Playboy cover model, ladies and gentlemen.
I've talked to a lot of Playboy cover models who are pretty good actresses, but she doesn't fall into that camp.
No. And again, frankly, the female characters in this film are pretty underserved. I mean, we already talked about Connie Selica being given essentially nothing to do as well. So,
what about And what about Dorothea or whatever, the mysterious Bermuda woman who knows the legends and will tell you
and wants to only serve you fish for dinner.
Yeah, head on.
Yeah. It's like, so she is the primitive, Okay,
one thing, Dorothea, don't be serving that fish.
Yeah, we're hungry out here, servant. Okay, here, eat some fish.
Delia, sorry.
Tell you the legend that we all believe in because we believe in folklore.
We're backwards. We're
That's
uneducated.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And frankly, you talked about Lee McCloskey being kind of, by the end of the movie, just whatever, just even more spaced out. Honestly, I think you could have just taken his character and done something with it a little different at the end, because having his character have nothing essentially happen to him, like no change, it's just worse. Like that's not.
Well, wouldn't it be better if what if he died and then woke up somewhere with Jenny Hanover and it was like, okay, now you're in the undersea world with me. And you somehow what you did or what I did for you has broken the curse, and now we can live in a supernatural world without having to do whatever a giant turtle says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand the lack of care given to his character at the end, because he's the main character. He's the last man standing. He's the only one who survived being out on that boat with the turtle, and then it's just not. He just gets rid of that puka shell necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No one has a good time, and like everyone has a bad end, and no one really deserves it. Like there are no real bad guys. It's not like, oh well, at least Burl Ives died. That guy was an asshole. It's like, no, he was a good guy.
Yeah, Paulus was good, and Eric wasn't too bad either. I mean, he could have done without shooting the turtle, but it feels like it just hit the shell. So
his downfall. He paid for hitting that turtle, though. Apparently,
he can't go down with 3 barrels, not 3 barrels.
Oh wow.
Nice. So it's like, so is the ultimate theme of this? It's like, okay, this woman didn't really do anything immoral in the past. Like she didn't save herself and let others die. She simply made a selfish wish that came true. Now the story is that anyone she comes into contact with basically is going to die or have some horrible.
Draws the ire of the turtle.
Yeah, it's like, because that's ultimately that's kind of what happened, right?
Right. I guess.
Yeah.
Either she's a creature of her own creation, or her and the turtle are two halves of the same whole. I have no idea, but it's clear that when she jumps off the boat to kill herself, to save herself, somehow her and the turtle become connected.
Yeah, and
I don't know what that means.
Sad. She seems sad.
Right. But why does she love Magnus so much? Because at the end he just abandons her, or she abandons him, or...
Well, they loved each other as children when he disfigured the turtle's shell.
Right.
The moment it was born, or maybe it was later.
Well, and as you know, when animals grow, the lines on the turtle grew to be just as large afterwards. Yeah, the turtle that carving wouldn't have been tiny; it would have been just as big.
Huge. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. It's like when you carve on a tree in a movie and it just looks exactly the same 30 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
Identical.
Yeah.
What are we talking about on the next episode, Mike?
How about we talk about the sins of Dorian Gray? How's that sound?
Whoa,
a live action film. Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
All right.
Live action? Does it have a turtle?
I don't think there's any turtles in it, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But I want to say it's got some good star power in this movie. So we'll see.
It's from 83.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank people for tuning in. I also want to thank Abby Stabby for our artwork, as well as the Great Octopus for our theme music. Be sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. Like I said, we'll be back next month with a look at the Rankin Bass classic, The Sins of Dorian Gray. Until then, be sure to rate and review the podcast wherever you get it. Tell your friends, tell your family, and stay weird. Yay.
Stay turtly.
All right.
Turtle power.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.